Dúis Gordon Reilga at the Daniel Tackle Shaw, the Gene Common Shaw, Common O'Donnell, Kenya, and Iha, they mentioned camps, obviously, Cameron, free, felt police, other, subvention, Aqua, again. So, we're here tonight, and we're going to, something similar to what we've done on the anniversary of Joe McDonald at the Source Fields. And we were hoping to have an event at the Source Fields recently there, but circumstances couldn't have it, so this is what we're having here. I'd just like to thank McDonald's for facilitating, for hosting us here in this club. So, just a couple of things just like to say before we kick things off is that if any of you have a phone, if you want to take the phone silent or turn it off, and if, there's no problem going to the bar, but if anybody is going to the bar, just be conscious of listening to me or the singers or people that say the quarter, and just be conscious of that, just be human. So the format tonight is that I'm going to give a bit of a speech, not as much as I gave in Sarsfields in July, but just a bit of a preamble, and it is obviously a very serious point to it, but because we were hoping to get this done on the 5th of October, 2 days after the end of the hunger strike in 1981, we're still in the month of October, so this is what we're going to be concentrating on, the end of the hunger strike and the legacy for prisons and prisoners and how that impact on the impact even today. Now, we're not going to have, and if anybody has any points they'd like to make or any questions they'd like to ask me or somebody else on the floor, feel free to do so. But the one thing I would ask you not to do, because I know a lot of people here and there's people who have different opinions of current politics. We're not here to state any group, person, or political party. We all have opinions on certain things that are happening, and not that don't have to be necessarily happy with the things that are happening, but that's for another day, and maybe we can do something. Anyway, just we're talking about the hunger strike. The hunger strike came about in March the 1st, 1981. And I'm preaching to convert it here to some of you, but I think it's important that these people who talk about these events and never forget it, because in my humble opinion, it was probably one of the most pivotal times in Irish history. And it's no exaggeration to say, again in my opinion, I put on a par with the 1788 rebellion, 1916 Easter Rising, and a lot of events happened in between those times. And I think it's something that we should always remember, just like around some of you here, some of you weren't even born in 1981. That's not to say you're not aware of a lot of what happened during that particular time. So when the hunger strike started, March 1976, the British government brought in a law whereby anyone who's sentenced for a political offence that didn't get what they call status status, we would have said a political status. So they were going to criminalise our struggle. They tried to do it, and thankfully it didn't succeed. The terminology they would have used at that time referred to mafia-type gangs, drive-by shootings, things that the Yanks would have used in regards to gangster films, and we all see films from the 1930s and 40s, drive-by mafia and all that sort of business. That's how they tried to portray our struggle. I'm not talking about scumbags like Unionists and Loyalists, I'm talking about our struggle. Because Unionists and Loyalists, as we know, they are gangsters, still are gangsters, always were gangsters. So, for us as Republicans, we were never going to be criminalised, and this goes back from, we'll just take it from the 20th century, from 1916 up to 1981, where Republicans, whether jails in Ireland, in Britain, other parts of the world, were never going to be criminalised. So for myself, I was first went to jail in July 1976. I was a young lad, I was relatively naive and not innocent in that sense, but innocent in one way. But when we went into criminal jail, we were saying we didn't know what we were going to do if and when we were going to be sentenced. And most of us were going to be sentenced because a lot of us statements were forced to give us in different interrogation centres like Castlereagh and Mahon Road in Armagh City and other places, and Derry City and Westbrook and South Armagh as well. So, and the courts at that time, and they still are today, there were jury, there was no jury, they were referred to as deadlock courts. So a judge, and it was they're all men, a that time, they sat and they were the judge and jury, and so it was very easy for them to convict people. So in September 1976, Kieran Nugent on the blanket protest, and that was the start of a really hard time for Republican prisoners in Longcash, in the Haste Blocks of Longcash. And I myself was sentenced in January 1977, and that was it was a culture shock to me, not only being sentenced, but the beatings that the screws were handing out, and meeting out these, and even though it was bad and all it was, our morale was very high. So no voice protest came about in March 1978, and the beatings and the conditions in which we were forced to live under was very, very hard. But we were young, and there was a certain amount of not bravado on our part, but we were young and we were full of beans and all that sort of thing. You don't have to be young to be full of beans, by the way. But young and full of beans. So I got released shortly before I got released, and I'm doing this fairly quickly here because I want to talk about the end of the hunger strike. Just before I got released in July 1979, the camp staff sent around where there was Haste Blocks 3, 4 and 5, that's where the blanket protesters were. There was a number of them were in H6. So we were asked how we were going to escalate the protest, and it was clear to all of us. It was very hard for me to go up the door, because believe it or not, I was very shy in those days. But it was harder anyway, because I was getting released shortly, and I was in a cell that I was doing 14 years. There was men on the wing had life 25 years and whatever. There was no sign of them ever getting released unless they escaped. And escape was talking about escapes coming towards the end. So everybody knew that there was going to be a hunger strike, or at least thought there was going to be a hunger strike. There was no end of the protest, and we were sent in word through comms and letters and people who were taking visits saying there was thousands of people out in the streets. And then when I got out in one of the first protests, I went on the Falls Road. I was not shocked, but surprised how few people were there compared to what I was expecting. Now obviously there were people in protest, of course there were. You had relatives actually coming outside and throughout especially throughout the north. That's where the bulk of the prisoners were from, and the Haste Blocks and women in Armagh. So the first hunger strike started in 1980, after 53 days it ended. And Bobby Sands, who was OC of the prisoners, talking to men who were there at the time, they were saying that Bobby had gone up to see Brenton Hughes of Dhearg, and Bobby himself was disappointed that there was no resolution to this, where the prisoners themselves, the hunger strikers, thought there was going to be some sort of agreement. But the Brits, being the Brits, as we know, they renege on anything that they claimed to have said. So Bobby Sands then went on hunger strike on the 1st of March 1981. So what he wants, we're going to do songs and poems in between.
Through the little streets of Belfast in the dark of early morning.
running about Lenape and Greater Town area, and in there the houses, and I can't, I'm not going to lose talk, anybody knows me, I'm not going to lose talk, not like on anything, but you know, a lot of things that happened that particular time. And with Bobby Sands, went Hungerstrikes, and I only knew Bobby Sands as a road to, would have seen him every, that time when I was a practicing Catholic, would have seen him at Mass every Sunday. So people would have been asking me what type of character he was and whatever, and I would never claim to know him well in that sense. He was on the opposite, another wing from me, and I would have heard him singing. Not only him, other lads would have sang songs, and whenever he was up singing, our wing would have kept quiet because he was such a very, very good singer. Not putting Bobby Sands on a pedestal by any shape or form, but he stood out as a singer and as a poet. And one of his, the older I've got, and getting into poetry, getting into the arts and such like, I'm not being snobby about it, I've started to appreciate poetry. Not all poets, not Sheila Seeley fan or whatever, because he wrote one or two happy ones, I suppose. But Bobby Sands himself, and whenever you think of the poem, when Bobby Sands was writing his diary, the first 19 days of his Hungerstrike in the diary, if any of you ever get the chance to read it, it's a powerful piece of writing for a man who was under no illusion that he was going to die. And I'm not saying that the 7 Hungerstrikers prior to that, and the 3 women who went in the last 19 days of the first Hungerstrike weren't prepared to die. But Bobby Sands himself was under no illusion that he was going to die. He was a prolific writer. He wrote on the pen name, Non the Girl, I would say. Some people say Non the Plume. The pen name, Marcella. And one of his, probably his best known poems, he wrote a lot of good poems. And if Bobby Sands, in my opinion, if he was in prison in South Africa or South America, his poetry, we'd all be taught it at schools and put them on a pedestal, the same as Nelson Mandela was put on, which became that's a different argument. But we're going to hear the poem, The Rhythm of Time. And when you think of a man who was writing this poetry and on the Blackwood protest, when we had no access to, the only reading material we had access to was the Bible and Catholic periodicals. Something might have been a wee bit interesting for me, it bored me, and that's when I started questioning that, when I became an atheist, because I started questioning things. But when you think of what Bobby Sands had written this poem with no access to books, no radio, no TV, no newspapers, and how hard he was able to write, in my humble opinion, one of the best poems that I've ever heard.
The Rhythm of Time by IRA volunteer Bobby Sands. There's another thing in every man. Do you know this thing, my friend? It has withstood the blows of 1,000,000 years and will do so to the end. It was born when time did not exist. It grew up out of life. It cut down evil strangling vines like a slashing, searing knife. It lit fires when fires were not, and burned the mind of man, tempering lead in hearts to steel from the time began. It wept by the waters of Babylon, and when all men were a loss, it screeched in withering agony, and it hung bleeding from the cross. It died in Rome by land and sword, and in defiant cruel array, in the deathly word of Spartacus along the Appian way. It marched with what the tyrants poor, and frightened lord and king, and it was emblazoned in their deathly star as e'er a living thing. It smelled the holy innocence before conquistadors of old, so meek and tame and unaware of the deathly power of gold. It burst forth through pitiful Paris streets and stormed the old Bastille, and it marched upon the serpent's head and crushed it beneath its heel. It died in blood on buffalo plains, and it starved by moons of rain. Its heart was buried in wounded knee, and it will come to rise again. It screamed aloud like Harry Lakes as it knelt upon the ground, and it died in great defiance as they coldly shot it down. It is found in every light of hope. It knows no bounds nor space. It is risen in red and black and white, and it's there in every race. It lies in the hearts of heroes dead. It screams in tyrants' eyes. It has reached the peak of mountain high. It comes searing across the skies. It lights the dark of this prison cell. It thunders forth its might. It's the undauntable thought, my friend, that thought that says, I'm right.
said, this Bobby Sands had written on the girl, Marcella, after his sister. And when Bobby Sands died, I remember I was sitting in a billet in the lower part of Lenadoon, and people came down, the people in the house came down and woke me up, because we were expecting Bobby to die. And we had a rendezvous point, and I remember going up through Lenadoon, and Kathleen Finucane, whose son Jamie was captured with Bobby Sands. I saw her at the bottom of Glenveigh Drive, and she was standing. Lenadoon was, I'm sure it's the same throughout Belfast, Ballymurphy, St James's, and throughout the country, never mind Belfast. But obviously I was only talking about Lenadoon. And she called me over to speak to her, but I couldn't. We had to go up the thing. And I remember going into the house where there was mostly men, a couple of women there. We were so angry. But I've always said, when I went back into jail and spoke to lads who were there, it was some way easier for like myself and other people who were on the boat, because there's something you could have done. But I'd imagine if you're stuck in a cell, whether it be in Armagh, Hasteblocks, Port Alicia, jails in England where political prisoners, Irish Republican prisoners were, so frustrating. It was relatively easier for people like me and others to get out and vent that frustration whatever way we could. And the song that Bobby himself, is a song for Marcella. Bobby's going to sing it. with all due respect to the other 9 hunger strikes, I'm not going to go into this detail because there's more to talk about. And just talk briefly about each of the lads who did that. When Francis Hughes, he died on the 12th of May. And just as one of the things we should always remember at that particular time when the hunger strike did take place, the number of people, mostly young people, who were killed with plastic bullets, and numerous people were blinded, were seriously injured by plastic bullets. These were fired by scum caps, British Army. And one of the young people who was killed, Julie Livingstone, I knew her, I know the family very well, and she died when news was coming in of Francis Hughes. Sorry, she was shot when news was coming in about Francis Hughes dying, and unfortunately for her, she died the next day. And she was now doing Pádraic O'Hara, Raymond McCrease, both of whom started the hunger strike the same day, and unfortunately they died on the 21st of May. And I didn't know Pádraic O'Hara, knew Raymond McCrease well, and it was on the man with the Malay wing the crumb, and I was the same wing of him during the blank protest. He only cut the sales up for me, and he was a very quiet fella, and we shot laugh when he got up and sang that I was a singer like Buddy or Sean or whatever I thought I could sing. Really couldn't sing. And Joe McDonald, he was, I'm not being parochial here when I talk about Nanadoon, but Joe McDonald, he was from Nanadoon. I knew Joe well before he went into jail. Met him when he and Jimmy Finucane and all the comrades were Bobby Sands and I were captured in October of 1976. They ended up in St. Gladson during the blanket protest. And when Joe died after 61 days on the 8th of July, that was then and since the biggest funeral that was ever seen in Nanadoon. And when we're talking about funerals, we're just going to talk about them as we go on here. Bobby Sands' funeral, they say that was one of the biggest funerals since O'Donovan Rossa, his funeral in August 1915. So, Paddy's going to sing a song in memory of Joe McDonald, called Joe McDonald. I'm going to just ask you not to clap because we all have bugbears, and one of my biggest bugbears, when I hear people clapping every time each of the hunger strikers' name. Personally, I don't like it. Spoke to Pádraic, but he doesn't like it either. So we'll just ask you to listen to the song as opposed to clapping each time one of the hunger strikers mentioned.
Belfast I came, that city I will never see again. But it's in the town of old Belfast that I spent many happy days, and I love the town in oh so many ways. For it's there I spent my childhood, and I found met with bitterness and with hate. I soon found myself behind the prison gates. And you dare to call me a terrorist? Why And although I love my country, I am not a bitter man, and I've seen cruelty and injustice first hand. And then one fateful morning, when I shook both freedom's hand, for right or wrong I tried to free my land. And you dare to call me a terrorist while you return your gun. And when I think of all the deeds that you have done, for you have plundered many nations, divided many lands, and you have terrorized my peoples. You ruled with an iron hand, and you brought this reign of terror to my land. And then one cold October's morning, I was trapped in a lion's den. I found myself in prison once again, and I was committed to their H blocks all for 14 years or more. And on the blanket, the conditions they were poor. And then a hunger strike we did commence for the dignity of man. But yet it seems to me no one gave a damn. And I am but sad man, for I've watched my comrades die, and there's no one even cares another's way. And you dare to call me the terrorist while it's you that's turning your gun. And when I think of all the deeds that you have done, for you have plundered many nations, and you divided many lands, and you have terrorized my family. You ruled with an iron hand, and you brought this reign of terror to my land. May God shine on you, boy sons, for the courage you have shown. May your glory and your fame be widely known. And John Francis Hughes and Brahim Creech, you both died unselfishly. And young Patsy O'Hara and the next in line bullets of murder. And to those who lie behind me, may your courage be the same. And I pray to God our lives have not been in vain. Oh, but sad, but there was the year of 1981, when they think that we have lost, but it's not just yet known. Hara Hughes, Lucretia Sands, Dr. Tianich, MacDonald Person, Michael Weedevine.
Martin Herson was, there was anybody who's been reading about the hunger strike and the way in which the prisoners themselves had staggered for maximum publicity, and also they're human beings. Nobody went out of their way to die. They were all prepared to die, which we all know. But it's like anybody who's joined the IRA, for instance, or the MLA, whatever, they were prepared to go out and do whatever. Most of them, not all of them, but most of them were prepared to go out and take a risk of imprisonment or death or whatever that may, or go on the run. But when Martin Herson died after 46 days, and that was, he died very suddenly, as anybody, when they read about it. And shortly after, I was back in Crumlin Road jail. When I went in the Crumlin in July, a couple of days after Martin Herson died, there was a lot of people some of the lads who were there on remand had also been on the blanket protest, and they had been there, someone had been there from the start of the hunger strike, and they were really frustrated, and the screws, compared to what it had been when I was there in 76, getting that bit older and a wee bit more ballsy, so to speak, that the screws were afraid of us, and whenever the lads were saying whenever any of the hunger strikers were down, the screws didn't know how to react to it. And then Kevin Lynch, he died on the 1st of August after 71 days. And you can imagine, and I've thought about this, I don't think about it all the time. I think about it when I'm reading about here, or if I'm doing a tour in Miltown and someone asks me, about it, and I've read a lot of people around here, a lot of history, and especially Irish history. And what amazes me is that for the men, when they were going down from down to prison hospital, and for anybody who had been in the Haste going down to the hospital, it's just like a small hospital. You get, I think, about 10 cells. But they were seeing each other in the canteen probably every day, and they saw their comrades weakening, knowing that they themselves were possibly going to die. And I've always thought of this here, when you think of men there who were, like Martin Herson, 46 days, Kevin Lynch, 71 days, Kieran Doherty, 73 days. When you think, and I do think about it, saying that all the time, whenever you get hungry, it does in my head, and when I hear people turn around and say I'm starving, I say, you're not starving. People in Africa starve, people in other parts of the world, and when you think of going a couple of days without food, when you're consciously sitting down, prepared to die, and I've spoken to a lot of lads who were on hunger strike, but for one reason or another, we'll talk about towards the end here, with the family maybe put them off hunger strike, or the hunger strike at end, and how they were prepared to die, and seeing other lads die. So we're going to get another poem here by Andy.
A Visit Home by Pádraic Mac Coitir. I walk within my prison wall, 'tis but my body owns their sway. O Ireland home, I hear you call, silent I wait the end of day. And when locked in my cell at night, my body I have laid to rest, my spirit homeward takes a flight, where Ireland waits me in the west. Lit by beauty of the stars, city and mountain, vale and stream, our mind despite these bolts and bars, in the glory of a dream.
Thomas McAwee, who we know was the first cousin of Francis Hughes, he died on the 8th of August after 62 days. He's died, and I'm sure a lot of you have been up to the grave just outside Balakai, Hamlet Duff. Then Mickey Devine, and this is like when you think of the hunger strike, and say when being in the Crum, and there were some lads who were taken off the hunger strike, and I would never pass judgment. I think it's wrong for anybody to do it because of different reasons. But when you think of Mickey Devine, who he didn't know he was going to be the last, because there was numerous men who were prepared to go on hunger strike, and the men who were going on hunger strike, seeing many of their comrades down, and then Mickey Devine down. When you think of it, it's a powerful sacrifice in its gift. So we're going to hear a poem by Mickey Devine.
This poem was written by Mickey Devine the night before he started his commenced his hunger strike. If Jesus Christ appeared tonight with his body bruised and bare, and he said he lived in H Block and asked you did you care? If he asked you would you help him before he went insane, to help him bear his burden of suffering and pain? I wonder would it stir you to raise your voice and cry, to tell the world of torture and all the reasons why? But what about his children who suffer day and night? Have you raised a hand to free them from their lonely hell-like night? For this day, a broken body, he lived through trial and fear, and feel the pain of hunger and shed a silent tear. He'll take a look around him, and to heaven make a plea. They crucified you, Jesus, and they're doing it to me. But even through his anguish, when nothing seems worthwhile, the thought of home and family will always raise a smile. His friends and comrades too, they've tried their best to help him. The question is, will you?
So we're not going to finish off here, but we're going to do three things, one after the other. Seamus going to read the Road of Honour. Pádraic's going to sing the song Road of Honour, and Sean and Ewan are going to go up and sing Back Home in Derry, a song, very famous song written by Bobby Sands. And after that, I thought we'd just talk about the end of the Hungerstrike. So Pádraic and Sean and Ewan.
1981 Road of Honour. Volunteer, Bobby Sands, Belfast, 66 days, 5th of May, 1981. Volunteer, Francis Hughes, Lasair Dhearg, 59 days, 12th of May, 1981. Volunteer, Raymond McCrease, South Armagh, 61 days, 21st of May, 1981. Volunteer, Pádraig Ó'Deorain, Derry, 61 days, 21st of May, 1981. Volunteer, Joe MacDonald, Belfast, 61 days, 8th of July, 1981. Volunteer, Martin Herson, Tyrone, 46 days, 13th of July, 1981. Volunteer, Kevin Lynch, from Given, Derry, 71 days, 1st of August, 1981. Volunteer, Kieran Doherty, Belfast, 73 days, 2nd of August, 1981. Volunteer, Thomas McElwee, Lasair Dhearg, 62 days, 8th of August, 1981. Volunteer, Mickey Devine, Derry, 60 days, 20th of August, 1981.
Read the roll of honor for Ireland's bravest men. We must be united in memory of the 10. England, you're a monster, don't you we carried. In our rusty iron chains we cried for our ways. Our good women we left in sorrow. As the mainsails unfurled, our curses we hurled on the English and thoughts of tomorrow. At the mouth of the foil bid farewell to the soil, as down below decks we were taken. Our Doherty screamed, walking out of a dream, by a vision of bold Robert Tynan. The sun burned cruel as they distant grew. O'Connor came down with the fever. 60 rebels today burn for Botany Bay. How many will reach their receiver? Oh, I wish I was back home in Derry. Oh, I wish I was back home in Derry. I cursed them to hell as the battle fought the swell. Our ships danced like moths in the firelight. White horses rode high as the devil passed by, taking tolls to Hades by twilight. 5 weeks out the sea we were now 43. We buried our comrades each morning. In our slide we were lost in our own sight. My never last night without morning. Oh, I wish I was back home in Derry. Oh, I wish I was back home in Derry. Van Diemen's Land is a hell for a man to live out his whole life in slavery, where the climate is raw and the gun makes the law. Neither wind nor rain care for bravery. 5 years have gone by, I've ended my bond. My comrades like ghosts lie behind me. A rebel like me, I'm still the same. On the cold winter night you will find me. Oh, I wish I was back home in Derry. Oh, I wish I was back home in Derry.
From the other lads. So last weekend, along with Paddy, the end of this year after I stopped talking here. So that's a taster for this. So just like to talk about the end of the hunger strike and how it came about, and some of this is it's like any historical event. We can talk about historical events which we can't argue with, which happened, it's hard things ended up successfully or unsuccessfully, whatever the case may be. And one of the people who I blame for how the hunger strike ended up was a man called Dennis Fall, who was a Catholic priest. And they give credit where credit is due. At the start of the blanket protest, when he used to come in and say mass, and there was a bit of crack with him, he would have given us GA results and some soccer results. He wasn't a soccer man, but he knew a lot of us were into soccer and all that. But he would have given us GA results because on a Sunday, because we wouldn't have got it maybe until a week or two later in letters, or some of the screws, one or two of them might have been half decent. You can count one hand. Many screws. I'm not going to talk about what should have happened at Lasair, but that's another story. Anyway, Fall himself, Fall made it known that he not only wanted to break a hunger strike, and now he would argue as a priest that he had to do the best for his flock. And there's nothing wrong with that if you're a Catholic or whatever the person happens to be. But when you bring in politics into it, and he brought his own politics into this here, and he stated publicly, it was in public record, where he said that he wanted not only break a hunger strike, but break the IRA. And that got up a lot of people's backs. And Paul then was having meetings in Belfast and Derry and South Derry and Tyrone and others. And he was using some of the families, because people were grief stricken here. People were seeing their sons who were dying. A lot of people were down out in the streets, and there seemed to be no end to the hunger strike. But the lads themselves were prepared to go on hunger strike. Men had to put their names down. Now, who knows how many people would have died. The hunger strike had to end somehow. But if Paul had been genuine, now this is my opinion on him, if he had been genuine on this here, he could have went around a better way, in a different way. But it's a manner in which he's done. So now he wasn't responsible for anybody's deaths. We've read books, we've read articles, we've heard debates on social media. There's places like this club has been used for talks and that sort of thing, and people have an opinion, and that's all it is about the hunger strike and who is responsible for the deaths of hunger strikers. In my humble opinion, although I wasn't there during the hunger strike itself, I was out here, I wasn't privy to what was going on. I was just an ordinary 5'8". I wasn't privy to what was happening in the upper echelons of the IRA, for instance. But it was very, like a lot of people are keeping a close eye on it. The people who were ultimately responsible for the death of 10 hunger strikers, who were load of arms right out here, was the British. The British government, they were prepared to let another 10, another 20 or 30, or whatever that may be. And for people to turn around and say, they're entitled to their opinion, by the way. Some people are turning around and apportioning blame on individuals. I think they're wrong. I wasn't there. I've spoken to a lot of men who haven't come out publicly, who were on certain blocks, and saying that some people who are saying a certain thing about in the lead up to the death of Joe McDonald, an agreement would have been made. There was no agreement. There was nothing there. You see, you read the things like your man Brenton Dudley and Derry. I would take a massive pinch of salt, and the man's dead. You know, I know we shouldn't speak ill of the dead. I can speak of a lot of people who are dead, not necessarily him, but a lot of people. I know we shouldn't gloat over some people who died. I gloated over some people who were killed and died. But the hunger strike did end, and whenever the hunger strike finished on the 3rd of October, the prisoners, men and women, put out a statement. The statement is there to be read online in different books. But within 2 or 3 days, now the 5 demands, and we all know that the hunger strike itself was more than the 5 demands. From Bobby Sands up to Mickey Devine, each of those men who died, they knew exactly what they were dying for. They were under no illusion that this was more than 5 demands for political status. It was far bigger than that there. They weren't pacifists. And it does my head in when some people that bring out quotes of Bobby Sands as if, and you see that scumbag Fenton O'Toole on that documentary 66 Days, turn around saying Bobby Sands was a peacemaker. Anybody reads any of Bobby Sands' writings? Bobby Sands was far from a peacemaker. Bobby Sands would have done whatever he was asked to do, or whatever he could have done. He wasn't captured with a typewriter when he was out for his operation. He wasn't pushing a pen. He was out to blow the ballocks out of someplace. Unfortunately for him, he was captured in the middle of that operation. And for anybody to even claim that any of those 10 men were pacifists, they were prepared to lay their lives down. Did anyone ever write out to the IRA or to the INLA, not that I'm aware of, ever write out and said, lads, stop killing Brits, stop killing screws, stop killing cops, stop bombing England, stop bombing the ballocks out of Belfast city centre, or wherever they were, wherever that happened to be. No, they weren't. When I was on the blanket protest, whenever we heard news was coming in of certain people being killed, we would have had sing-songs about it early in the eve, when we heard screws, even we were going to get our ballocks knocked down afterwards. Were we crying about it? Like I read somewhere when the IRA ceasefire was called in 1984. A certain person who was in the Haste Blacks, when I was in the Haste Blacks there, Trail up was there too, and maybe I can't think of anybody else, all young looking, but in the Haste Blacks, this man went down and he went into his cell and he cried for the dead, and he cried for Scrooge who were killed. Wish he had said to me at the time.
Who's that chopper?
Billy Morrison. He's the only person I ever knew ever cried for, apart from the families of the Scrooge. But anyway, when we're talking about, I mentioned from the outset, a pivotal moment in Irish history, this should never be forgotten. And these are my opinions, by the way. You can see I'm passionate, angry about it. I try not to cry too much. I don't cry. I'm not being. Don't say that I don't think of the lads. Obviously, when we're hearing it, songs, reading books, and we can see documentaries, see a brilliant film called Hunger. In my humble opinion, is the best film was made about this Protestant Ulster Unionist state where we're still under British rule. So we're going to finish off here. Paddy's going to sing a song here, and just to get back to the time of during the blanket protest, and one of the worst times for me and for us all, but speaking personally, was whenever we were forced to move from one wing to another after 10 days, and this is sometimes in the middle of the winter. We had two skimpy blankets. There was our windows were smashed, and we were moved from one wing to another, and we were mirror searches. We were bent over by horrible people, with our cheeks or ours were sprayed, and with the same hands, our mouths were screws were checking our mouths to see if there were any palms or whatever was in it, and then you just the hate that you have for these people. I still have it from. Make no apologies for that there. So whenever we had bad times here and we had to raise our morale to show the Screws that we weren't beaten, that was very, very difficult for us. And when you think of we were naked, and one of the songs we sang was "A Nation Once Again." Okay, it might be the most, but it was a rebel version and a rebel song. And whenever I went back into jail, sentenced to the Haste Blocks in 1987, went down, and some of those scumbag Screws who would have beaten us, they were the cardiest, excuse my language, cardiest bastards ever walked this earth, because we had our own clothes, we had our own things, and certain people outside were taking the task, and we rebelled in it. So, Paddy's going to sing here, "A Nation Once Again." And if anybody knows the chorus, we'll try to get the words out here, but somebody's getting sacked because of it. Not dismissed, sacked. It's a difficult group of wrong people. So, "A Nation Once Again." If anybody knows the chorus, join in. It's a real. And sorry, just before I finish, there's a couple of people going around with a ballad. It's not all about money, but there's a ballad being done and a very good praise here. And Sean and you know are going to go and sing a song. So after this here, enjoy your job because I'm going to get a few things.